Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Memory is a funny thing. Some people are blessed with total recall while others can't remember what they had for breakfast. Sorry, where was I? Ah yes, memory. For some, the writing of their life's work and deeds in the form of a memoir is the ultimate ambition. To say to those reading in 100 years' time, I was here and this is what I did. Me, I have no such ambition. If in 100 years YouTube is still around, people will clearly be able to see that I was here and this is what I did. Alright, enough waffle, Jody, let's get into the watch. And the watch today is called the Memoir, oddly enough, by the Melbourne-based micro-brand Second Hour Watches. Now, they are more normally associated with dive and sports watches. Indeed, I've looked at one of each. I looked at their Giant Stride Diver and their Mandala sports watch. The Mandala is their big seller, and it's a fantastic watch with some intricate design and lovely details. But this one is different. It's a tank case dress watch with some intricate design and lovely details. Perhaps it's not actually that different after all then. Now, you saw the pop-up. This video is sponsored by Second Hour Watches. I will therefore of course leave a link to their website in the description of the video. They're taking pre-orders on these with a 20% discount until the 2nd of March. Will that be enough to tempt you into purchasing one? Let's flip the camera and find out. Alright, let's get into the box, or should that be, let's get into the boxes. I have two of these, two different colour versions that we're going to have a look at today. Good opportunity therefore to talk about colour and to talk about price. These are $535 each, but before you spit your chips, $535 Australian dollars, if you please. That comes in at around $350 USD. Obviously, you may or may not have to pay import taxes on that, depending where in the world you reside. If you miss out on the pre-order discount, the regular price is $645 USD, 20% more, 20% less appealing therefore. I think it's actually fair to say that the colours range from mild to wild. Obviously, the black, the blue and the silver with blue are the three conservative options, the pistachio green and the vibrant scarlet, less so. And you know, it's almost as if brand owner Peter was aware that the colours split into two different camps because he sent me one from each. I'll rotate through them over the course of the video. 2-year warranty, by the way, and a very nice metal warranty card. That's exactly how it should be, even though this watch is quartz. Yes, you heard me, I did say quartz. Although they have used a Ronda SlimTech 1069 movement, which is a small second movement, and then they've put the smallest second hand I think I have ever seen on a watch before. So you'd be hard pushed to see that it's quartz. In fact, you'd be hard pushed to see there's a second hand there at all, to be honest. This is very much a pure play, this one. It's a dress watch. I don't think too many people will pick this one up as their daily. Hey, some people do wear this style of watch every day, but I think most people who buy this, or certainly it's aimed at people who will wear it occasionally as a dress watch. Having a quartz movement in the back of it is not a bad idea, therefore it can lurk in a box for a month or two until it is called upon, at which point it will be ready to go. Plus quartz means super slim. Let's talk dimensions then. Being a tank case watch, it is going to be smaller than you would expect. I'm not going to call it diameter today because it is not circular. I'm going to call it width today, and the width is 28 millimeters. 7.7 mil thickness though, including a piece of curved sapphire crystal. I measure the lug to lug at just under 40. I measure it at 39.4. However, 20 mil lug width. I think that's a great idea. It looks very good on wrist, as you'll see. Not a lot of size, not a lot of weight today though. 44 grams as supplied. It does manage 50 meters of water resistance from a push-pull crown, and as discussed, it is a Ronda SlimTech 1069 in the back, which you cannot see because of that rather attractive case back. This is an Art Deco style watch. In case you didn't know, the case back is there to remind you in no uncertain terms that this is an Art Deco style watch. Stainless steel, one screw in each corner, so screw on rather than screw down. No spec sheet at all. How refreshing. In terms of case finishes, the finishes that you can actually see, the surfaces you face when the watch is on your wrist, are all high polish, all mirror polish. But there is satin brushing on both sides of the watch, and the whole watch case has been coated with an anti-scratch coating. If this is an occasional wear dress watch, then you want it to look good when you want yourself to look good, so no scratches, please. Small crown, slightly recessed into the case with the second hour logo. They've actually split their logo. That little piece of sacred geometry used to feature above the font, so they've kept the font as it is on all of their other watches. They've just moved the logo over to the crown today instead. Good idea, I think. It keeps the dial nice and clean. In terms of the strap, it's a grain leather. The finish is good. The quality looks good. It's semi-embossed, so the upper surfaces have been padded, but the holes and the end of the watch where the buckle and tango are not as padded. I think that's a good idea. I think it will add just a little bit more meat on the wrist, as you'll see in just a second. All stitching is reasonable. Second hour branded. Quick release spring bars, 2 retainers, 1 mobile, 1 fixed, and some nice brushed hardware, again with the second hour brand name on there. Alright, let's get the macro lens on again and have a look at the dial and hands. All classic Art Deco stuff. Applied numerals at the 12, the 3 and the 9, but not at the 6 obviously, because that's where the small second complication lies. There are applied high polished silver angled baton indices on the other hour markers, and there is an obvious recessed rectangular center section that has been cross-hatched. We've already seen the tiny second hand. It is complemented today by a, thankfully, much larger set of Dauphine hour and minute hands. There's a printed minute track around the outer edge, and a mild sunburst effect to the section between the cross-hatching and that minute track. There's also some very pleasant patterning to the small second sub-dial, although only every 5th second is marked, so yeah, you're not going to be doing any super accurate timing with this one. That is clearly not what it's for. I'm sure you saw earlier on, the entire watch is curved, including the sapphire crystal. You don't see curved sapphire all that often. There is a little bit of anti-reflective coating underneath that sapphire crystal, but again, it's a dress watch. You wouldn't necessarily expect that to be top of the priorities list. It looks pretty good on wrist outside though. When I move this one around in the sunshine, you can see the dial really coming to life. The high polished numerals, the high polished indices, and particularly that crossed hatch center section really do come alive in different light conditions. And that's it on wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist for your reference. I say that in every single video. I'm sure you know that by now. 28mm sounds tiny, but when you combine it with the rectangular shape and the 20mm lug width, it's not bad at all. Don't get me wrong though, it's not a big watch. Under 50 grams, comfortable leather strap. You barely know that this one is there. Legibility does rather come and go depending on the light conditions, as I'm sure you saw from those outdoor shots. If I get this one right, if I get the angles right, there you go. The whole thing really, really pops. It looks pretty spectacular. From other angles though, it all rather fades away a little bit. Alright, moans and niggles. I will not be talking about the size today, and I will not be talking about the 50 meters of water resistance today, because that's very much par for the course. That's what you expect from a watch like this. It is not a spec monster by any stretch of the imagination. If you want a spec monster, second hour, sell various other watches that will do a lot more than this one. But for a pure dress play, especially a quartz one, I wonder if they wouldn't have been better just deleting that small second complication altogether and going with a two-hander. A lot of people object to quartz because they don't like that single tick, and that would obviously have placated them somewhat. I'm guessing Peter ran models of both, and this is what he decided. He preferred, this is what he decided more people would go for, so there you go, small second complication it is. And do check the colours carefully on their website. I think there's a bit of a discrepancy between the colours of the renders and the colours of the photos of the watch. For example, the green one that I've got, they refer to it as the dark olive colourway. I don't think that's dark olive. I think it's much, much lighter than that. I think it's pistachio coloured. Look, I don't have a problem with the colour. You just have to be a bit careful with what you're actually buying. And obviously, if you're going to offer a watch at 20% discount off the RRP, it's going to look 20% less appealing in a week's time when the RRP kicks in. So if you're buying this watch in a fortnight's time, you're going to have to think 20% harder about whether you buy it or not. But if you've been looking for a simple tank style dress watch and you don't want to go vintage, I don't blame you, then this is definitely a sweet little watch, and I think it has unisex appeal, particularly in some of those brighter colours. You could even get away with justifying the purchase of one of these based on the fact that you're sharing it with your other half. A cunning plan indeed. So there you have it, a very narrow and very specific pitch for your money here today with the second hour memoir. If you are looking for an occasional wear pure dress play, then it definitely offers better value for money now than it does on the 3rd of March. If you want something a bit more versatile, make sure you check out their other watches. They are excellent. Indeed, why not start by looking at my reviews of the Mandala here or the Giant Stride here. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. I'll see you again in the next one.